But I actually am mad about the Border Patrol situation because, part of me, I was taught to respect authority, and there certainly is a strain of American currency now and thinking where nobody on either side really respects authority. And frankly, authorities have given us plenty of reasons not to respect them and to distrust them, and I totally get that too. But also, and this is important, law enforcement continues in this country to be made the bad guy by the left. There are bad, corrupt police officers in this country. There are bad, corrupt Border Patrol agents in this country, but they're not the majority. They're not even the predominant part of the minority. And for the Biden administration to see a photographer's pictures, and what is a photograph? A photograph is captured light of a fraction of a second of time. And the photograph freezes that time, freezes that light into an image. And the photographer who took the pictures of the Border Patrol agents who were using their reins of their horses to steer their horses, that were confused by ignorant progressives as being whips or whip-like cords, in the words of the Associated Press. The photographer who took the picture says he never saw the agents do anything untoward. In fact, what he saw were Haitian refugees trying to run around the horses to get away from them, and the agents containing the Haitian refugees and getting them back across the border. And what happened? The picture went viral and was mischaracterized by people whose default presumption is always to hate law enforcement. And what did Joe Biden do? Instead of having the backs of the federal employees who are risking their lives to being away from their family on horseback in the desert, trying to keep our border secure, he threw them under the bus. He attacked them. He said they were to blame. And there would be consequences and there would be actions, and they've taken their horses away. The horses, frankly, they need those horses to do their job. Given the terrain, they need horses, not Jeeps, not buggies, not Humvees, not tanks. They need horses. And they're being punished not because a photographer took a picture. The photographers come forward and said they didn't do anything wrong. He was witnessing them. He had his lens on them. They weren't doing anything wrong. It's not the photographers, it's the people who willfully misinterpreted the photography. People who have said nothing about the border, who avoided talking about the border, who avoided like plague the issue until they could yet again blame law enforcement. And I think we do have to be upset about that, at least if not angry. We have to be upset about the fact that the Biden administration chose to blame the Border Patrol even after the story was debunked, even after it came out. It wasn't whips, it was the horse reins. They weren't whipping anyone. They were steering the horses. I don't understand the strain on the left of blame law enforcement. There are members of law enforcement that are bad, and I realize that people have been galvanized by the stories of Ahmaud Arbery. It was a horrible story, and justice will finally prevail, thankfully. It almost didn't had a YouTube video not come up. This is the guy down in South Georgia who was shot by two guys, and the local DA, it seems, might have helped them try to get away with it until they were caught by a YouTube video. Or George Floyd in that situation, and there are situations around the country. But those are the exceptions, not the rule, and those are police officers, not the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol does a thankless, tireless, tiresome job at the border, keeping our border secure as best they can when the politicians in Washington, many of them, don't want to secure it at all and yet claim it's secure. And now these Border Patrol agents are the bad guys? How? They didn't do anything wrong.